Well, we are back once again with Geek Stuff Off the Cuff, and this is going to be one episode that we're going to be talking about a local Indianapolis con that's happening, and Tony is actually going to be there. He's going to have his little booth. Are you going to have a booth?
Yeah, it's not going to be little. What are you talking about? A little booth? Yes. Yes, I'll have a booth. Yeah, you should come by and check it out. I actually have a pretty cool setup. This is the first show that I've done in maybe about a little over a year, but I used to do a lot of the horror convention shows, Horror Hound, Days of the Dead, things like that. As the former owner of a publishing company myself, I used to do a lot of this stuff. So I've got a pretty decent setup, but yeah, my goal is to promote mostly my own books. But it's the show this weekend, coming up on November 16th from 10 to 5. It's called the IndyPendent Show, and this one is specifically designed towards focusing and putting the spotlight on local Indianapolis and Indiana area creators. The focus, I think, this year is comic books, children's books, novelists, pop culture. I know there's going to be artists there. There's going to be a lot of panels that are going to be done for a wide variety of topics, I think, is, like podcasting, which, we're right there with him. Drawing, comic creation basics, promoting yourself through social media, creating children's books, small press promotion, things like that. And then, of course, there will be the gallery, kind of the vendor room, if you will, where everybody will sell their wares, and you'll feel comfortable knowing that everything is locally grown, which will make you feel warm and fuzzy inside to get something from a local creator and check it all out. Heck, we may even be there broadcasting our own show. We might do a couple shows there.
Glancing quickly at their website, which is www.IndyPendentShow.com. IndyPendent is, of course, INDY Pendant, PENDENT show, SHOW.com. You want to make sure that you have that www on the front end of that as well. It looks like at 10:15 in the morning, Podcasting 101 with Teaspoon, Maxie, Bubbernut, and CJ. And I'm going to take a wild guess that those are not their real names.
They definitely have nicknaming 101 down handy, so good for them. No, that's the crew from Crit Confirm. They're a local podcasting entertainment type of group. So
outstanding.
Yeah.
Now, do they focus more on zombie-esque type of stuff? Or?
I believe their focus is kind of like gaming, entertainment, pop culture type of stuff.
Okay.
Kind of similar to what we do, but kind of flying by the cuff and whatever's going. But I know they've been doing it for a little while, over a year at least. So they've definitely come a long way. I did see them. I believe I saw them at PopCon. I saw them at one of the conventions already this year. So, and with the massive influx of conventions due to hit Indianapolis next year, podcasters, there's plenty of room for folks to have some fun with this kind of stuff, and to definitely kind of get out there and
absolutely
and throw it around a little bit. So,
what did you say the name of their group was again? That podcast?
Crit Confirm. So
Crypt Concern.
Yes, close. From the gaming community, the old Crit Confirm there.
Crit.
So
there
Crit
we go.
Confirm. Yeah. So that's I believe, I'm not I enjoy a good tabletop game and card game from time to time, i.e. whenever I get a chance daily, but that I think is from some of the deeper RPGs. With your crit hits and things like that.
Yeah, you got to roll a 20, man.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
crit.
told. So I'm told.
There you go. Yeah, you can actually check them out at critconfirm.com. And I'm researching all this off of my iPad, and it's an Apple product, so that should say enough about why it's extremely slow right now. But that's okay.
It's a judgment-free zone here.
No,
okay.
It's not judgment-free.
Right,
I do not like Apple products at all.
Fair enough.
I am not a fan. I have an iPad. I have an iPad specifically for the purpose of it. Gosh, there's not even really a good reason why I have an iPad. It's one of the only devices that sync up with my virtual DJ and with Show Express and some other softwares that I use and yeah. So
right. Yeah.
No, anyway, Crit Confirm. Oh my, I can't even say it. Critconfirm.com. It's actually pretty legit. It looks like they do focus primarily on. They got a few cons, but again, it looks like it's more game based. Crit, if you guys are listening, please reach out to us. I'd be happy to team up and do a tag team podcast for both sides. And it looks like they host on SoundCloud, which is kind of cool. I thought about hosting us on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we didn't have it going yet. And I think SoundCloud required you to have basically shows in the can ready to roll before moving forward. But for those of you that were wondering, I actually use Libsyn. That is who we go through, and it seems to work out pretty well. So yeah, they've got like cool little what is it called? Caricatures of themselves on the webpage. So
very cool.
Anyway,
very cool.
So back to the show that you're going to be in, and it sounds like they're going to be there as well at the IndyPendent show.
Yeah, I think they are. They should be in whatever you want to call it, the vendor room, artist alley, whatever you want. They have a table / booth thing with us. So they'll be in there. I imagine they'll probably likely be doing some recordings as well, and of course they'll be doing their panel. They'll be there to talk. There's a ton of other people here as well. I'm seeing 25 to 30 different kind of vendor type folks, which is cool. The theme for the show, because I believe the show is done twice a year, I think.
It looks like there's one in March.
Yeah.
And then one here in November.
Right. This November, the theme is comics and young adult / children's books. Now, that's not exclusive, of course. There are many, many other types of things that will be going on. But you definitely, if you've got an interest in comics, artwork, any of that young adult type of stuff, that's definitely something that you might want to check out to kind of see what local folks are doing to kind of create and promote and establish.
Sure.
Them.
It looks like at about 1:15, there's going to be something that I'm actually somewhat interested in, which is building communities and promoting yourself through social media. Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's going to be possibly one of the larger ones, simply with having a moderator involved. Guest speakers include Tony Troxel, John Graham, Lee Chirolis. I'm guessing at that name, and I apologize, Lee, if I am butchering that, as well as others. It's an interesting name, Others. Interesting name.
It's very ominous.
Yes, it's derives from the Dutch term for many more. And then moderator, Chris. Chris will be, is it Luden or Ludden?
Probably Ludden.
Ludden. Chris will come up to us later on and be like, listen, it's actually not even Ludden. They put the wrong last name on there.
Smith.
Yeah. Good old classic Smythe. Whenever I'm introducing people, I love to have fun with the people that have the really easy names, because they know that that's the one part of the entire wedding where I'm like, oh, geez, all right, let's just get everybody inside and we'll be perfectly fine. And it's always the people with the easy names, the Bill, the Johns, the Joes, and the Jakes are just love to have fun with that, and it drives me bonkers. Drives me bonkers. Do you know where you're going to be at in the show?
No, my guess is that everybody's going to kind of be in there'll be one community kind of vendor type room. I do know that I sprung for the table with the power attached to it. So I'll be, yes, that's right. So I have the power. I don't, what I'll do with it is anybody's guess, but so I will likely.
You're going to take some effect lights and just this is the spot.
Bring the fog machine. Yeah, we'll be ready to go. But no, we'll be likely against a wall then if I've got power, because I believe the room, the way that it's going to be set up, is power along the outside where the power access is, and then the tables on the inside will be folks as well. So people will likely be able to, just like any convention, go down the rows, kind of check things out at your leisure. Come back and take a look at things if you want. So I'm excited. I'm got a whole load of books I'm ready to sell. I've got some books I'm ready to unload for some pretty steep discounts. I'm ready to move some things. We have had some promo posters printed up last year of one of my books, Before Plan 9. So I've got some promo posters to give away. I got some fancy new business cards that just arrived this week from moo.com. I'm really excited about those. So, yeah, absolutely. I completely redesigned what I used to do with them. So you got to look at my ugly mug on the front, but then on the back I've got some fun stuff. We'll be able to, that's the back there where I'll be able to kind of talk to people and kind of chat a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited to get back in the habit. My goal is to do more conventions as I kind of move to do a little bit more of the self promotion realm. With my little page on Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff we got going on. So I'm excited.
Moo.com.
Looking
I just
forward to it.
ordered new business cards. I wish I would have known about Moo.com, and I honestly probably would have went through there.
It was really, I will say, for Moo.com, it's the first time I've used them because I used to use Vistaprint, and Moo was very easy. Like what you just saw in your hand was all point-and-click stuff. It was
really?
created on the fly. I got to choose my fonts and everything. It was very easy to do. I was front and back done in about 30 minutes. And they came, and they're good quality. This is their quote-unquote lowest quality.
Oh.
And even that, I mean, it feels good. I mean,
no, it's good.
To me,
It's really good card stock.
yeah.
It's solid. It's nice.
And it was relatively cheap. I got 100 of them. They wasn't that expensive. So
Cool.
Yeah, I have
Moo, if you're
no
listening,
complaints.
which of course you're not, but we could definitely use additional cards.
There you
So
go. Send more cards.
yeah, happy to hook you up with a sponsorship
Hey.
of the people that are watching us and all that good stuff. Going through the IndyPendent show, I noticed that the owner of the IndyPendent show also owns, is it Fidget Press?
Yes.
And looking through the website, it looks like November. Is there a Time Lord fun run, or is there something like that coming up?
I don't know.
Or did that happen before?
That may be a. Are you on the Fidget's web? Are you on Fidget's website?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought I saw that. Oh, yeah, that's Well, yeah, take a look at the date, November 23rd, 1963. I believe that is one of the original dates for Doctor Who. I think that was because last year was the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, so I believe that is a little print shirt. I'm not sure that they. I don't know. That would be cool if they did it, but I think that might be more one of those kind of graphical, funny kind of.
I see. I was actually kind of, and I'm not a runner by any means, but I would have thought it would have been really cool to have like a Doctor Who.
That would be pretty sweet
because they run about everything else in this world.
It's true.
They're running all over, but all right. Well, there you go. That shows my prep work right there.
If they were doing it, though, if anyone was ever to do a Doctor Who themed run, Indianapolis is probably a prime American choice for it because we're the host of Who North America is here in town. So
that's true.
One of the largest collections of North American collections of Doctor Who memorabilia and all that good stuff. They were at PopCon, where we got to meet the seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy. He was with them at their kind of space, and they had a ton of stuff. Very, very cool folks. Full size, life size TARDISes, at least from the outside. And I mean, it was a very immersive experience. So. Yeah, I would love to see if they would do something like that or something fun. I mean, anything Doctor Who related, I'm down with. That. So.
Well, yeah, we're both kind of. By the way, we're actually recording in Tony's man cave in his
the nerdery,
and it's actually pretty cool. It's legit. It's a legit nerdery.
Thank you.
I do not have a nerdery anymore because I have children.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is the nerdery for now, but when the next child comes around, it gets changed from the nerdery into the nursery. So I don't know where this stuff is going to go because it is all over the room, but we'll figure it out. There might be a flash sale or something like that. But
what's your favorite article? Like if you, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Yep, I gotta do it. Because and nobody else here can really see it, and I apologize about that. But he's got everything from Spaceballs movie posters to Avengers artwork from the movie a couple of years ago. He's got all kinds of Doctor Who stuff all over the place. The movies, VHS, as well as DVD, Blu-ray, lots of it. There's some essentials that we talked about before. Lots of photos with some famous people. There's Daryl. So yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right now.
Man,
if you walked into this room,
can I give you a top 3 at least?
all right, fine. We'll do top 3.
Okay.
We'll do top 3. But you walk into the room and somebody is here and they're like, listen, you can only choose 3 things. These 3 things are what you can keep. You may not collect or keep anything else. What would those 3 things be?
Boy, this is really tough because there's a ton of stuff in here. I would say, just kind of giving a quick glance over the room here, first and foremost would be probably I have the first editions up top. I'm a huge fan of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I started reading that in 7th grade. My 7th grade teacher introduced me to it. I don't want to go so far as to say it changed my life, but it definitely impacted my personality, my sense of humor, kind of how I approach the world. Douglas Adams is a phenomenal writer, and if anybody out there hasn't read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I highly recommend you go find a copy, download it, check it out. Don't just go see the movie that came out, about 10 years ago, because it's not the same thing. But I have first.
Alan Rickman's in the book, right?
Yeah,
Alan Rickman,
right. Yeah, no,
okay.
he's definitely there. So I have a first edition of The Hitchhiker's Guide, and it's a sequel, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. So I'll probably hang on to those. Next is probably one of the newest editions. We were just talking about this before we started recording. As I would grab my Seventh Doctor, my Sylvester McCoy foam core head, because he was, it's its head and shoulders from him dressed as he was as the Seventh Doctor in the Doctor Who series. His very iconic, his bowler hat and his question mark vest and all that fun stuff that I've dressed up as many times. But the foam core head was at my wedding when I got married to my beautiful, lovely, talented wife, who I know is listening and wants me to say something nice about her, Emily. When we got married,
we'll edit that
early,
out.
yeah,
I'll make a note right here.
When we got married earlier this year, we both had foam core heads of our favorite doctors, and I, of course, had 7, and she had her favorite doctor, who will remain nameless at this point. But once we got to meet Sylvester, we told him about the fact that he was, quote unquote, at our wedding. So he signed it for us, and it says, to Emily and Tony, good luck, congratulations again, Sylvester McCoy. So it was kind of nice to kind of have that moment with him. And so I definitely hang on to that, because that is a one-of-a-kind item. And last but not least, gee whiz, I'm probably going to go with, and this is kind of sad because it's sitting in the corner, but I haven't found a spot to put it up yet. But I've got a long, skinny 2 posters that are in the same frame together. They're Italian posters from Spaceballs, when Spaceballs came out. Spaceballs is probably my all-time favorite movie. I grew up watching it with my best friend. It was kind of a bonding experience, and I just love it to death. At one point, when I was a single swinging bachelor, maybe 12, 15 years ago, living in Fort Wayne, I probably had, unconfirmed, probably the world's largest Spaceballs memorabilia collection. I had everything.
Oh, wow.
Everything. And I sold most of it when it was, when it was time. But I mean, I had Spaceballs, the toilet papers, I had things that you do not realize. I had literally an 80s jacket.
Spaceballs the doll?
Yeah,
be with you.
I still do have my Schwartz ring is up there in between my my Schwartz replica ring is still here.
Cow, you do.
But I had a crew member's jacket from the movie. It said Spaceballs, the crew jacket on the back of it. So I mean, I had a ton of stuff. But those posters are special to me because they're Italian posters. The one on the top is the Italian Spaceballs poster, and the one below it is the most unique part. It's a poster. It says on it the Italian title of Spaceballs is Balle Spaziale, Spaceballs, and the bottom poster is for Balle Spaziale 2, La Vendetta, Spaceballs 2, The Vendetta. That movie was never made. That movie does not exist. There is no sequel to Spaceballs. All the characters you see on that poster don't really exist. But if you look over in the movie section down at the VHSs, there's a green VHS called Martians Go Home. And that movie in Italy was marketed and branded as Spaceballs 2. Changed the title, changed everything, but that movie has nothing to do with Spaceballs. That movie, the reason I have it on VHS is because it has never even been released on DVD. That's how bad it is. Rob Schneider's first movie, if that tells you anything. I mean, it's just an incredibly random movie. I believe Randy Quaid's in it, but that poster is just so unique because it's like, what marketing morons thought this up?
Yeah, we'll just use Spaceballs and put that name on there, and we'll be able to sell it all over the place.
I mean, it's like taking Edge of Tomorrow, that sci-fi movie that came out last year, and calling it Star Wars Episode 17 or so. Just like completely rebranding it for really no purpose. And it's just one of those things. It's just, I've never seen anything quite like it. I've never found anything else marketing-wise about Spaceballs 2. I don't think anything else exists other than the posters that they did.
There was something online that
Europe,
had a fake. It was like a fake Spaceballs 3.
Yeah.
It was Spaceballs 3: The Search for 2.
Yeah, right.
And No, we found it. Mel.
Yeah, there it is.
Call up Tony.
Well, I mean, he even made
He'll get your hookup.
He even made the joke in the movie, you know, at the end of Spaceballs. You know, he said, as Yogurt, he says, God willing, we'll all meet again in Spaceballs 2, the search for more money. So, you know, very self-referential, but, you know, it was clear that it was never going to happen. There was an animated, a very briefly lived animated series that I do have on DVD over there. But, but yeah, I mean, other than that, it's almost like a ghost movie. So that's a pretty special piece for me. So yeah, I would say that was off the top of my head. Those are the three that I would hang on to, and everything else could go if it had to.
I didn't realize that you were such a big Spaceballs fan.
Yeah.
That's a huge movie for me.
I mean, if you had 2 hours, if anybody had 2 hours, I could give you a one-man show, word for word, action for action,
every single thing.
I could give you, a live Spaceballs version. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Spaceballs.
There were 2 movies when I was growing up that I would always default to, and I think we've actually talked about it with Emily before in the past, but on the microphone. We've never talked about it. And it was in regards to my visits with my grandparents.
Yep.
There was a Mr. Video here in Indianapolis, and classic video rental place.
Sure.
You go in, you pick out your videos, you rent them, and then you're done with it. And I would always get Tron. That was my
classic.
That was my go-to.
Yep.
Was Tron. And then if we had the ability to,
yeah,
I would also get Spaceballs.
Cool.
And those would be the 2 that I would go with. And I remember having a feeling, just thinking, and this was when I was younger, that if John Candy ever died, it would be the end of the world for me. And sadly, he did pass away.
Right.
But as I've grown up and I've watched Spaceballs over and over and over again, every element in that movie, for the most part, there's a few that I'm not too fond of, but I've grown to respect and like Rick Moranis so much more than when I first started watching it. And oh my gosh, Chris Hardwick did a Nerdist podcast with Rick Moranis.
Very cool.
And it's one of my favorite podcasts that I've ever listened to. But he talks about, he's just such a cool guy. He's just, I don't. It's hard to even put into words the respect that I have for the guy. But.
Well, I know that a lot of he moved away from acting, and I know a lot of the movies that he did seemed like these throwaway movies, Spaceballs and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and things like that. But I mean, when you look, those are the classic comedies of the time, you know. And then I believe this may not be 100% accurate, but I believe he moved away from acting because maybe his wife, something happened with his family. Either he wanted to spend. It's either he wanted to spend more time with his family, or someone fell ill, and he like made the choice to step away, even though he could have kept doing like middling, you know, like B comedies and things like that. You know, he could have continued along the path that a lot of 80s stars did, and kind of eventually fade into obscurity while doing less and less quality stuff. But he took the opportunity, I think, to step away, and that's one of those things that you don't really think of as a comedic actor, that they kind of hone in and do. You know, do what's best for them and what's best for their careers and things like that. But I mean, he seems like a cool guy from what I've seen on screen, obviously, and from what I've read in limited interviews and things.
He talks about it in the interview.
Does he?
In the podcast with Chris. And I mean, I'm not going to try to explain what he said, but the gist of it is he got kind of tired of it all, and he just wanted to spend more time with his family and
Makes
his
sense.
kids. And I mean. You get to the point where you can't go anywhere or do anything, and to my understanding, his family, none of them want to be a part of show business. They have intentions of wanting to do other things, which is great, and that's wonderful. And he made that choice of okay, I'm done. He's also been very open if something grabs him and he's interested in it, that he wouldn't not be in it. Like I wholeheartedly feel that he's probably going to be in Ghostbusters. Even if it's something small, just as revisiting that lawyer type of a role.
Well, his character makes sense because he was ancillary enough that he wasn't like a main focus, but it would make sense for him as, like you said, that kind of lawyer, legal person. If someone were to, and I know nothing about the premise of the movie other than that they're going to try to do the female stuff. But if it's something like they're trying to open a new Ghostbusters franchise or something like that, you would need legal help or to clear some red tape. So it would make sense that someone who is previously involved with a on-screen Ghostbusters ghost-busting franchise.
Sure.
Could do something like that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, if you haven't seen Spaceballs, go see Spaceballs.
Mm-hmm.
You need to see Spaceballs. Everybody should, at least at one point in time in their life.
Yep.
There's so many great one-liners from it. It's definitely my top 3 of Mel Brooks movies. It's up there with Blazing Saddles, which is just an amazing movie. Yep. And then I'm a big fan of History of the World Part 1.
Oh, yeah.
Right from the beginning, just the title alone, History of the World Part 1.
Yep.
Grabs me every single time. So, all right, so those are your 3 things. Once again, your Duel, your Spaceballs 1, Spaceball 2, Italian posters, your Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the first printing, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, first printing of that, as well as the, what was it, the other book that he wrote?
The Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
There we go, Restaurant
follow-up,
at the End of the Universe. And then your third item was, the foam head from the Seventh Doctor?
Seventh. Lucky number
Doctor.
7.
So everything else I'm going to be taking with me, and
Fire sale.
yeah, I think Maggie will be happy. For those of you who don't know who Maggie is, that's my wife, and so yeah, I'm actually excited about having Emily on at some point in time.
Yeah, it'll be fun
in the future. We've
She's
talked
excited
about it, and now that she knows, this is the second time that I've been over to your house, and she has not been here, which sounds really creepy.
Yeah, I mean, if you hadn't met her before, you would maybe think that I didn't have a wife. Like, oh yeah, she's a model. She lives in Canada. No big deal. She'll be here sometime. So
maybe not. Who knows?
Well,
Who knows?
I mean, this is our thing for doing, for recording shows in the middle of the day. You know, she has a, Monday through Friday 9 to 5 that she's rocking right now. So she's not here now, but when you and I are out working on the weekends, she's partying hard and doing her thing.
Because everybody's working for the weekend.
Amen to that.
All right. So once again, if you guys are listening to this, we're actually recording this the week that it's going to be going out. Mm-hmm. So this will be going out on, what is Wednesday? I don't even know what Wednesday is. Mm-hmm. Today is the 10th. So the 12th.
Yep.
This should be going out. Make an effort. It's not far away. I'm going to pull up the location really quick. It's at the Radisson Hotel and Convention Center. They're off of South High School Road.
Yep.
So West Side Indianapolis. Super easy to get to off of 465. So there is no problem whatsoever of getting there. Do you know what time the doors open?
Yeah, it's 10 to 5.
10 to 5.
So, yeah, so you've got some time, morning, afternoon. The panels do start pretty much right away at 10:15, I think, is when that first panel starts. So you can see all the information on the website. Again, the www.IndyPendentShow, I-N-D-Y, pendentshow.com. You can also go on to Facebook. They have a very active page on Facebook. If you search IndyPendent Show, you can check it out there as well. So, yeah, very cool stuff. It's super cheap to get in. I'm thinking it's like $4 or something like that. I mean, it is not pricey at all. So tickets are very easy to snag. You can definitely come. Like I said, there's a lot of cool things, and you have the peace of mind to know that everything is locally grown. Kind of, this is not some big conglomeration that comes in and takes your money. Everything's going to stay right here in our local economy, and you can talk to local people especially if you have an interest in writing or illustrating or podcasting or any of this kind of stuff. These people, have kind of really figured out how to do it and do it well. So it's definitely a benefit to come and check that out.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys there. I know that Tony will be there. He'll be at his booth with the only power. He'll have the only electrical power in the entire building.
Look for the go-go dancers. You'll be able to find your way to my table.
Light. You need something.
There'll be lights.
Okay,
don't you worry about that.
I'm excited. I don't know what this is going to look like.
Likely be sound,
but I'm going to show up and I'm just going to be like
sharks with lasers on their heads. A little bit of everything. You never know what you're going to get at the old IndyPendent Show. Well, you have to do that, because if you don't do that, I will be sad. I will be very, very sad. So hopefully we'll see you guys out there. Once again, feel free to reach out to us. There's actually a Facebook page now, Geek Stuff Off the Cuff. You can find that on Facebook. There's no official website. I haven't built the website just because... Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there, but also more people are on Facebook 9 times out of 10.
Absolutely.
So eventually we'll get up to the status of Nerdist or even Crit Confirm,
That's right.
where they've got a full-fledged website that's going on. So.
For now, you can just find us on Facebook. You can come and check out our MySpace page as well. Friendster.
Yeah.
I'll give you my AOL chat screen name. All the best.
Yeah. I think I still have my ICQ.
Oh yeah, ICQ.
Yeah, we'll hook up I'll reinstall Jabber.
Oh yeah, I'll love it. ICQ. I always watch that flower circle. I'm like, come on, let's get on ICQ.
Let's see who we can chat with. Who wants to chat with me right now? So yeah, find us there. You can also email us if you guys have questions, comments, or if you want us to do a show. We've got some guests coming on here soon. My good friend Daryl is going to be popping in. He's a gamer friend as well, and we're going to be talking about some different games on that front. My really good friend Neil, who I grew up with, Neil and I go way, way, way back. He is a huge Star Wars fan.
Awesome.
And he has been a faithful listener for as many episodes as we have, but he's been really, really interested. He's a firefighter by trade, and he wants to come on and talk about Star Wars. He's also a big computer guy.
Okay.
He does a lot of code programming, and we thought it might be kind of fun to tap into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But with the new Star Wars movie coming out, The Force Awakens.
That's right. I'm gonna have to. I really want to hear what his thoughts are on the name.
I'm not. We're not even getting into that right now.
It's a whole nother show.
No, but Neil is going to pop on. He's going to have a lot of fun. And then we've got, for those of you who don't know, Tony and I are both wedding hosts and wedding DJs. We've been doing this for many, many years. And we have reached out to some other DJs that are here in Indianapolis. And we're going to have a big DJ powwow. And we're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about equipment that each one of us uses. It's really more of a sit down and shoot the crap kind of a thing where we just all get together and talk about things that we enjoy, things that work well, things that might not work. But from a listener's point of view, hopefully you can gain some knowledge if you're planning a wedding, or if you just enjoy music, if you enjoy speakers and amps and microphones and everything in between. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about things that we enjoy and things that make our lives just a little bit easier. So with that, thanks for listening, guys.